Christmas by John Betjeman. The bells of waiting Advent ring, the tortoise stove is lit again, and lamp oil light across the night has caught the streaks of winter rain in many a stained glass window sheen, from Crimson Lake to Hooker's Green. The holly in the windy hedge, and round the manor house the yew, will soon be stripped to deck the ledge, the altar, font and arch and pew, so that villagers can say the church looks nice on Christmas Day. Provincial public houses blaze and corporation tramcars clang, on lighted tenements I gaze where paper decorations hang, and bunting in the red town hall says Merry Christmas to you all. And London shops on Christmas Eve are strung with silver bells and flowers, as hurrying clerks the city leave to pigeon-haunted classic towers, and marbled clouds go scudding by the many-steepled London sky. And girls in slacks remember Dad, and oafish louts remember Mum, and sleepless children's hearts are glad, and Christmas morning bells say come, even to shining ones who dwell safe in the Dorchester Hotel. And is it true, the most tremendous tale of all, seen in a stained glass window's hue, a baby in an ox's stall? The maker of the stars and sea become a child on earth for me. And is it true, for if it is, no loving fingers tying strings around those tissued fripperies, the sweet and silly Christmas things, bath salts and inexpensive scent, and hideous tie so kindly meant. No love that in a family dwells, no carolling in frosty air, nor all the steeple-shaking bells can with this simple truth compare, that God was man in Palestine, and lives today in bread and wine. Snow in the Suburbs by Thomas Hardy. Every branch big with it, bent every twig with it, every fork like a white web foot, every street and pavement mute. Some flakes have lost their way and grope back upward when, meeting those meandering down, they turn and descend again. The palings are glued together like a wall, and there is no waft of wind with the fleecy fall. A sparrow enters the tree, whereon immediately a snow lump thrice his own slight size descends on him, and showers his head and eye, and overturns him, and near inurns him, and lights on a nether twig, when its brush starts off a volley of other lodging lumps with a rush. The steps are a blanched slope, up which, with feeble hope, a black cat comes, wide-eyed and thin, and we take him in. One Christmas Wish by Patricia, Leighton. For snow to fall all Christmas Eve in thick, slow flakes, to fall all through the hours I drift in my warm bed, dreaming of Christmas Day. For snow to lie next morning deep and soft, for me to wake and see the world dressed as I've never seen it dressed in Christmas white. For me to plant my first-time footprints like a new astronaut on a new moon, to snowball, slide, shout loud halloos through the crisp air, build snowmen with red berry lips, holly green hair. Later, inside, to curl up on the rug, hear grown-ups talk of snow adventures Christmases ago. One wish for one white Christmas, one, before I'm old. Christmas Market by Mike Harding. Tall, white-haired in her widow's black, my Nana took me, balaclavaed from the cold, to where stalls shimmered in a splash of gold. Buttery light from wind-twitched lamps, and all the Christmas hoards were heaped above my eyes, a shrill cascade of tinsel set to fall in a sea of shivering colours on the frosty, foot-pocked earth. I smelt the roasted nuts, drank syrupy sarsaparilla in thick glasses, far too hot to hold, and chewed a licorice root that turned into a soggy yellow brush. The man who wound the barrel organ let me turn the handle, and I jangled out a tune, and Lily of Laguna spangled out into the bright night air, and would go on spinning through the turning years. Then we walked home, I clutching a tin car, with half-men painted on the windows, chewed a sweet, and held her hand as she warmed mine, one glove lost, turning the chattering music. And I looked up at the circus of the stars that spread across the city and our street, coated now with a Christmas cake layer of frost, and nobody under all those stars, I thought, was half of a half of a half as happy as me. First Snow in the Street by Brian Patten. I did not sleep last night. The falling snow was beautiful and white. I dressed, sneaked down the stairs, and opened wide the door. I had not seen such snow before. Our grubby little street had gone. The world was brand new, and everywhere there was a pureness in the air. I felt such peace. Watching every flake, my heart felt more and more awake. I thought I'd learned all there was to know about the 1,000,000,000,000 different kinds of swirling, frosty, falling flakes of snow, but that was not so. I did not know how vividly it lit the world with such a peaceful glow. Upstairs my parents slept, yet I could not drag myself away from that sight, to call them down and have them share the mute miracle that was everywhere. The snow seemed to fall for me alone. How beautiful the grubby little street had grown. Christmas at Four Winds Farm by Marion Haslehurst. With the tambourine tinkle of ice on the moor, and the winter moon white as a bone, my grandad and his father set out to bring Christmas home. A wild winter wizard had grizzled the gorse and spangled the splinter-sharp leaves, when the light of their wind-swinging lantern found a magical Christmas tree. From the glittering town at the end of the dale, the carols grew sweeter and bolder, as my grandad's smiling father carried Christmas home on his shoulder. Little Tree by E. Cummings. Little tree, little silent Christmas tree, you are so little, you are more like a flower. Who found you in the green forest, and were you very sorry to come away? See, I will comfort you, because you smell so sweetly. I will kiss your cool bark and hug you safe and tight, just as your mother would, only don't be afraid. Look, the spangles that sleep all the year in a dark box, dreaming of being taken out and allowed to shine. The balls, the chains, red and gold, the fluffy threads. Put up your little arms, and I'll give them all to you to hold. Every finger shall have its ring, and there won't be a single place dark or unhappy. Then, when you're quite dressed, you'll stand in the window for everyone to see, and how they'll stare. Oh, but you'll be very proud. And my little sister and I will take hands, and looking up at our beautiful tree, we'll dance and sing, Noel, Noel. Little Donkey by Wendy Cope. The children's favourite. We had to sing it in the Christmas concert every year, plodding along with me at the piano and a child going clip-clop with coconut shells or woodblock, a coveted job. It wasn't my favourite. After I left teaching, I forgot about it for more than 10 years, until one day near Christmas in a busy high street, a Salvation Army band began to play it. I stood still with tears in my eyes. Little donkey, all those children who loved it so much, all those hands in the air begging to be chosen to make the sound of his hooves. O Come All Ye Faithful by Wendy Cope. Born the King of Angels, that's the bit drives music teachers round the bend. It's angels, 2 notes, not angels. I've fought some battles with that extra note and still get wound up every Christmas. Daddy had a different problem with the same hymn. Sing, all ye citizens of heaven above. Heaven, he asserted, is not a city. It should be denizens. And that was what he sang. It wasn't too embarrassing, but I can't sing the verse without remembering. In recent years, I have paid tribute to his memory by singing, rather quietly, Denizens of Heaven Above. Just Doing My Job by Clare, Bevan. I'm one of Herod's henchmen. We don't have much to say. We just charge through the audience in a henchman sort of way. We all wear woolly helmets to hide our hair and ears, and Wellingtons sprayed silver to match our tinfoil spears. Our swords are made of cardboard, so blood will not be spilled if we trip and stab a parent when the hall's completely filled. We don't look very scary, we're mostly small and shy, and some of us wear glasses, but we give the thing a try. We whisper henchman noises while Herod hunts for strangers, and then we all charge out again like nervous Power Rangers. Yet when the play is over and Miss is out of breath, we'll charge like henchmen through the hall and scare our mums to death. Snow and Snow by Ted Hughes. Snow is sometimes a she, a soft one. Her kiss on your cheek, her finger on your sleeve, in early December on a warm evening, and you turn to meet her saying, "It's snowing." But it is not, and nobody's there, empty and calm is the air. Sometimes the snow is a he, a sly one. Weakly he signs the dry stone with a damp spot. Wayfish he floats and touches the pond and is not. Treacherous beggarly he falters and taps at the window. A little longer he clings to the glass blade tip, getting his grip. Then how she leans, how furry foxwrap she nestles the sky with her warm and the earth with her softness. How her lit, crowding fairy tales sink through the space silence to build her palace, till it twinkles in starlight, too frail for a foot or a crumb of soot. Then how his muffled armies move in all night, and we wake and every road is blockaded, every hill taken and every farm occupied, and the white glare of his tents is on the ceiling. And all that dull blue day, and on into the gloaming, we have to watch more coming. Then everything in the rubbish-heaped world is a bridesmaid at her miracle. Dunghills and crumbly dark old barns are bowed in the chapel of her sparkle. The gruesome boggy cellars of the wood are a wedding of lace now taking place. At 9 of the Night by Charles Causley. At 9 of the night I opened my door that stands midway between moor and moor, and all around me, silver bright, I saw that the world had turned to white. Thick was the snow on field and hedge, and vanished was the river sedge, where winter skilfully had wound a shining scarf without a sound. And as I stood and gazed my fill, a stable boy came down the hill. With every step I saw him take, flew at his heel a puff of flake. His brow was whiter than the hoar, a beard of freshest snow he wore, and round about him snowflakes starred a red horse blanket from the yard. In a red cloak I saw him go, his back was bent, his step was slow, and as he laboured through the cold, he seemed 100 winters old. I stood and watched the snowy head, the whiskers white, the cloak of red. "A Merry Christmas!" I heard him cry. "The same to you, old friend," said I. Little Donkey by Marion Swinger. Little donkey, what did you do? What did you do on Christmas Eve? I carried a woman, her head bowed down. I carried her into Bethlehem town. Little donkey, what did you hear? What did you hear on Christmas night? I heard the angels, the sky was torn as they sang out joyfully, "Christ is born." Little donkey, who were you with? Who were you with on Christmas night? I was with the ox who stood quite still as the shepherds ran from the star-bright hills. Little donkey, what did you see? What did you see on Christmas Day? I saw a babe in a manger bed, a heavenly light about his head. Little donkey, who followed the star? Who followed the star on Christmas night? 3 kings of splendour and of pride, who fell to their knees at the baby's side. Little donkey, what do you bear? What do you bear to remember him? I bear the cross on my back, etched in velvety brown and black. I bear the cross to remember him. The Innkeeper of Bethlehem by Marion Swinger. "There's no room at the inn," he told them. "We're full up, I am sorry to say. Inn's crammed with people, can't help it. I'm having to turn folk away." But there was something about the young woman, and the innkeeper shouted out, "Wait, I suppose you could sleep in the stable. There's nothing else left, and it's late." He showed them both round to the stable, and settled them down for the night. Then he left, glancing up at the heavens, where a star shone unnaturally bright, gilding his face with a splendour that no one on earth ever saw, as he entered his inn, slightly dazzled, quietly closing the door. Bethlehem by Wendy Cope. There stands a church in Bethlehem today, built where the baby in the manger lay, where Mary touched and kissed his little face, a place of pilgrimage, a holy place. O holy Jesus, everlasting light, let there be peace in Bethlehem tonight. And once in better times I travelled there, watched children run around in Manger Square, then went into the church's crypt and stood before the birthplace of the Son of God. O holy Jesus, everlasting light, let there be peace in Bethlehem tonight. Now in the little town where Christ was born, young men and children die and mothers mourn. Wise men have not brought peace to Manger Square. O hear us as we offer up this prayer. O holy Jesus, everlasting light, let there be peace in Bethlehem tonight.